Welcome back to Stribling's New York on WORAM Radio 710 on your digital dial. I'm your host, Rob Taub. We were just with Dr. Andy Martin, who is curing all our literary woes. And now on the phone, we have Chris Schembra, who is an entrepreneur and philanthropist. And I met him when he was involved with Tony LoBianco's play Little Flower, which I reviewed for Huffington Post. And I've gotten to know Chris since then. And he's also an amazing cook and a bit of a, as Dr. Martin would say, a Renaissance man. And he's on the phone. Where are you, in North or South Carolina? Where have your travels taken?
I am traveling down to my hometown of Hilton Head Island, South Carolina for the week, just gaining some calm and clarity before the next big event that I produce in New York City.
Well, you did something called Just a Common Soldier, which you've won an Emmy for, so tell us about that.
Yes. So for the actor Tony LoBianco and I traveled around for the last couple years reading this poem that was given to him by his brother. It's a poem written by A. Lawrence Vanecourt called A Soldier Died Today. And a good friend of his, of Tony's, named Stephen Klaus, and his wife Ellen Klaus, and Tony's wife Elise, the four of them got together and they produced a video called Just a Common Soldier. It was a 5-minute video that we produced giving tribute and thanks to our veterans. You know, the unfortunate statistic in this world is that 22 veterans commit suicide per day. And you know what? That's not even accounting for California or Texas. So we produced this video. We released it on Memorial Day of 2015. I was involved in the marketing of the piece, and we did everything through social media. We got a few different distributors with big fan pages on social media to distribute it for us. And since our release, Memorial Day of 2015, we've garnered 900,000 shares and 19.2 million views. And just 2 Saturdays ago, the video won. Tony LoBianco won an Emmy, his second Emmy, as Best Host, and the production team won an Emmy for Best Community Service PSA. That was Ellen and Stephen Klaus, Suzanne Patterson, and Guy Noffsinger, who is at NASA.
You did a really dramatic broadcast of it in Times Square last year, if I remember.
Yes, we did a press conference in Duffy Square with the help of Damian Santucci and the Times Square Alliance and George Lentz from Nicholas and Lentz Communications. And what we did, it was the day before the Veterans Day parade. So we got the CNN screen and the American Eagle digital billboards in Times Square. We threw the video up onto them. We did a big press conference with Ken Fisher speaking and Stephen Klaus speaking and Tony LoBianco speaking. And we had a bunch of the sailors that were in town on the USS New York for Veterans Day come and be a part of the ceremony. And it was truly a day to remember. And we had one heck of a good time. So, you know, as long as we do our part, and we all can just do our part every day to try to push that needle, you know, a bit further in trying to help, you know, those men who have given so much for our country, and trying to lower that rate of what the veterans involve themselves in per day. And I have been fortunate recently to have joined the national board of the Easter Seals Foundation. Now, Easter Seals, if for those of you who don't realize that we're still around, we're stronger than ever. We serve 2 million people a year living with disabilities, and 205,000 of those are through our Easter Seals Dixon Center, which is headed up by Kim Mitchell and the great Army Colonel David Sutherland. And so we've got a good gig going, providing services to those who need them. So it was truly a remarkable tie-in between Just a Common Soldier and the great work we do at Easter Seals.
And what's next for you, Chris? What else have you got in the hopper? You have a big full plate, I see.
Yeah, I have a big full plate. You know, Rob, I included you in a thing that's near and dear to my heart. What happened last July, accidentally, I invented a pasta sauce. And that pasta sauce I felt like I should probably feed some folks objectively to see if it was good or not. So I put 15 people around a table that had never met each other and fed them the sauce. They liked the sauce. The 15 people liked meeting each other. So we did it again the next week, and the next week, and the next week. And since last Thursday, June 30th, we've had 54 dinners, fed 808 people, and now we're taking the dog and pony show on the road. I've truly found joy in feeding people, and I've realized that one of the things that's lacking in our country today is authenticity, vulnerability, empathy, and safety. And what we do through providing meals, connecting people around food, is truly bringing people back down to the basics. And some people, I've found my purpose through that. So coming up on July 19th, I'm hosting a 150-person dinner party celebrating the 1 year of the 747 Club, as it's called. And then we're hosting a series of events centered around that concept. But, it truly speaks volumes to the fact that America is craving, periods of connection. And through social media, we're only going so far. And in a way, we might even be detracting from the human condition.
Well, I agree with you. Is there a website, speaking of social media, that we can learn more about you? Because we're going to have to wrap up soon.
Yeah, if people want to go to 747club.org. It has everything from the 16-person dinners to the big events to my bio to everything we're doing, connecting people around food and just having a good time doing it.
Well, I had dinner with you a number of months ago, and it was fantastic, and I loved the sauce, and I hope you'll come back on the show again soon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Sounds good to me, Rob. Thank you for having me.
Okay, have a good summer, Chris.